Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm looking at myself on the screen. It's Michelangelo Badio here. Joey! Robert. Now, today, Joey and Robert are going to take control, but I've asked them to calm down until I tell everybody hello. So I see Denny at first. Hello, Denny. Here are the shout outs. I want to say hi to Tanya. I want to say hi to Alexis. Denny, I've already said hello to. Brett, Nick, Roxana, Jenny, and also a great, my best friend, Rob Ross, and who is the drummer on No Boundaries and a lot of my songs. Hi, Cynthia. How are you? Brian, I see you. And one thing that's going on right now is on my YouTube page, we have debuted a new song, the premiere. It's a song by the band Cream, written by Eric Clapton and, believe it or not, George Harrison. And the song is called Badge. Now, I did a version of this on my Hands Without Shadows 2 album, part of the compilation of Eric Clapton is God. Clapton is God, dude. But this is a new version, and it's the Schneider Ross Band featuring me on guitar. So when I'm done with this live stream, go to the YouTube page and check it out. It's a really great version of Badge. So now, hello there from Germany. I see, hey, York, how are you? Yeah, Germany's great. I love Germany. So, I cannot resist anymore! Joey wants to speak, so does Robert. Yes, we end on C. Now listen, I'm the star, Joey. Joey. Who do you want to see? Joey. Now here's what it's about. I've always been the star. Always. It's me, not Angelo. Not Robert. Always Joey. Now, I think Angelo's got to tell the story, but here's how it all began. Here's what happened. When I was a kid, being left-handed, growing up in Chicago, it was 75 below zero in the wintertime with the wind chill factor. What can you do? What can you do? I practiced. I sat there. I would just play. The world's angriest rebellious teenager, I would just play. Hey, Dave. I would play, I would write songs. I wrote songs like... with a dream of moving to LA. And finally, when I moved to LA, Joey started to emerge. And he said, "Listen, it's me, not you. I've always been here to lend a hand." I'm like, "True!" And so what happened was I started to become, from Mike Badio, little Midwestern kid, I used my middle name, Michelangelo, rock star dude. And all the way, I've got Joey in one ear going, "I'm the star." And I've got Robert going, "I'm angry. I'm always angry." And all Robert wants to do is... And you know what happened? He would read things. Robert would read things. I say, he looks strange when he plays guitar because his hands are angry. But you know what Robert said? "I don't care! I'm angry!" And like Captain America says, I could do this all day. Now, what am I playing here? This guitar is the first signature guitar that we designed with Sawtooth. Yeah, Robert doesn't care. He really doesn't. He does not care. When I'm practicing, what I like to do, I love to practice. I'll set up just a scenario with a software program like drums and go. Now, or I'll start with like 185. That's somewhere around 185, but I'll go. Yes, Joey's in the groove. And so what I do is I set up things to, like, rhythmic things to play. Like if a beat's going, I might go. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about too with Joey and Robert, it has to synchronize the big three. There's a triad going on here. Fretboard hand, yes, 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 yes. I can't contain him. He's like, yeah. And Robert, he's like, yeah. But he doesn't say anything. See, Joey talks. Robert rips. And so you've got this hand, and this head. So you've got your brain to control, even though Joey thinks he controls everything. You've got to synchronize them. And so what I do is I always start with, I love playing to a metronome or a drum program because it's when you're really tired. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have done this. You know, you're in the peak. You know, you've been practicing. You're like, I'm ripping, dude. I'm ripping. I can feel the need for speed. The new Top Gun is out, and I'm ready to rip. And so what happens is you feel that. It's like, yes, yes, yes. But then you wake up the next morning, you're like, bro, it's like been a tough night, dude. Like, I don't feel so good. I haven't had my cup of coffee. I haven't had my cappuccino very frothy. See, I love cappuccinos in the morning, but they have to be extremely frothy, like froth just emanating from the cup. And so if you haven't had that yet, you're like, oh, man. But put on that metronome when you're tired. 185 when you're ripping. Sounds like slow motion. 185 when you're tired. It's like, yeah! It feels like you have lead weights on your fingers. And so somebody wrote, does it come in white with a maple fretboard and Floyd? No, I don't think so. We have a white matted. Actually, we do. We have a white. It's a matted white guitar, the M24, but it's not a maple fretboard. It's sandalwood, and but it has a top of the line Floyd. But sorry, I'm answering the question here. But what happens is that when I'm playing, I get into a zone. But some of the best rehearsal times are when I'm not in the zone, when I'm super tired and I force myself. And sometimes even late at night, I've had a big business day or just a lot going on, and I'm really tired, and I put on that tempo of 185 and her. And I'm hearing all this, and what happens is I'm dead tired, and it feels like I can't even get 185. But then all of a sudden, Joey doesn't let me down. He's like, I'm really tired. I've had a long day. I don't feel like playing. Wait. Robert and Joey look at each other and go, yes. And so what happens is when you're the most tired or when you feel like you don't want to do it, those are some of the best times to play and having a steady pulse, meaning like a BPM, like a 185, 165, 160, 200, it gives you a benchmark. It's kind of like in the American baseball. You have a fence. You hit the ball over the fence. If you didn't have that fence, how do you really know how far you hit it? You'd have to measure. You think 400 feet, 300 meters, so the idea, or 100 meters. So the idea is this, that number gives you start to know what it feels like to play 185 when you're feeling good and warmed up, and 185 when you're feeling tired. And when you're tired, I do this all the time. It'll be late at night, sometimes 1 in the morning. I've had a long day. I haven't played guitar that much. Sometimes the business overshadows some of the artistic endeavors. And so I'm like, oh man. And Joey's like, I'm tired. I don't feel like the shred. And then all of a sudden Joey goes, wait. I feel good! And so that's what happens, that you use that time, and that's some of the times when you can be A, the most creative, and B, just the most technical. Now, but this, I have to admit, this M24, it's in matted black, very simple, 2 humbuckers, maple neck. This is a sycamore body. It is super light. And what I love about the purists, the ones, more the exalted ones, the ones that we don't care about you, we care about us. We are the gods of guitar. And so you get a lot of people that are so elitist. And yet they would say, hey, sycamore, we don't use sycamore. We use basswood or alder or mahogany, or swamp ash. I have some guitars with swamp ash. They're bad, you know what. And so, but we said sycamore grows all over planet Earth. It's not an endangered wood. The trees grow super tall, so one tree can get a lot of guitars. And so we started using it, and all of a sudden, I'm playing this. I'm going, this guitar's really light, but it plays really good. I love this guitar. I keep it in my studio all the time. I mean, people that know me know I have hundreds of guitars. I've got a huge display in my living room, but I'm down in my studio. But I keep this guitar with me all the time because it's kind of like my go-to guitar. It just sounds so good. I mean, listen. And then you hear the clean sound. And I can also do the, hey James. Yeah, somebody's saying Top Gun. I don't know the theme song, but it's somebody asked if these are Duncans. No, these are stock Alnico 5 Sawtooth pickups. Sawtooth really has very exacting specs. And, one of the things that, we've talked about before when I'm at Sawtooth headquarters, like I was yesterday in LA, I'm back in my hometown of Chicago, was that, whether you get a guitar on the least expensive part of the line or the most expensive, they have really great setup people. So these guitars come ready to rock out of the box, literally. And I've never had that with any other company I was with. Even my former company, doing all the clinics that I did, I used to hear complaint after complaint after complaint. All these different stores would say, these guitars are not set up. We need this, we need that. And that's where I actually started to use higher action, because when I was doing workshops, playing so many different places with guitars I've never played, I found raising the action to almost sometimes uncomfortable levels would give me a tone that I wanted, because I always want that thick, that nice vibrato. And you can't get that if your action is so low, because it starts to hit the other frets, and it's like, well, actually it doesn't do that here because this guitar rules. But the point is this, that, all this experience that I've had touring, workshops, designing guitars, we put all that experience in with Sawtooth. And given that the people at Sawtooth manufacture like no one else, we can just make really great models at a really affordable price for you. But I absolutely love this guitar. I mean, I love maple necks. I like a lot of necks, and this guitar just sounds so good. Sometimes I tune it to E, concert pitch. Sometimes I tune it to E flat. Sometimes I'll tune it down to D, because I do a lot of session work, and some of the biggest clients that I work with like to drop down a full step. But it's just an amazing guitar. I mean, how do you fake? nice the sounds. Songs like Full Force. Or from one of my albums, Stop Complaining. Then I had this melody going. That song was actually a vocal song. It was called Stop Complaining. Like, stop complaining and have some faith and don't forget yourself. Goodbye frustration, goodbye contraction, and aggravating you get one. Goodbye frustration, goodbye. I've written some really out there songs, or a song called She Doesn't Live Here Anymore. And then I had this chorus like, somebody asked what pedal I use. I'm going to show you. You are not going to believe how simple this setup is. Okay, let's bring it to the top here. Now this is going to be upside down. See if you can see this. One overdrive, one tuner, and I use an A/B switch. Now I have the switches to the amps, but I've got what I do is I also switch too with some effects that are online. Not online, I'm sorry, in my DAW system. So, but I have just one overdriver and one tuner. I have never been one to use a lot of effects. Never. I think that when you have a great guitar and when you have a great, it doesn't take me long to find my sound. And again, I have done thousands of shows, 58 countries around the planet. So when somebody says Switzerland, I've been to every single part of Switzerland. I've been to China 15 times, Russia 4 times, Brazil 5 or 6. India 6, 7, England 20 times. And so what I have found is not only do I know my sound, but if I plug into an amp, certain sounds, certain amps can't get it. There are just, for example, a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. Now I love them for rhythm, so I can go. And so I can play that. But I can't play the lead where it goes. I just don't get that round 1K sound. The Mesa Boogie does not possess the mid-range. For example, a lot of boutique amps like Rivera's, Soldanos, I don't hear that really pleasant mid-range that I like to hear that comes from old Marshalls. You know, that's why Yngwie has such a round sound. The Marshalls themselves have that mid-range that just, it's really pleasing to the ear. And so, what does it say? Directly into a Marshall with no pedals at all. I did that. Somebody just wrote, Al Di Meola plugged into a Marshall with no pedals at all. I did the exact same thing with Nitro on both albums. I do something really similar now where I just have my signature overdrive. Silver Jubilee, yes. Somebody asked if I used the Marshall Silver Jubilee. Not only did I use it, but I did clinics with Jim Marshall. He asked me to go around Southern California to do that. Now I use the Sawtooth Tube 40 watts. These have like a vintage Celestian speaker. You know, they're heavy. I mean, these are great sounding amps. In fact, we sold out of them. And see, I use about a 330-second delay. So it goes like delete, 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 delete. But it starts with a great guitar. I mean, this guitar is not that expensive. But listen to how it sings. I love that. Not every guitar can do that, and not every amp can do that. And so, and I gauge, you know, the first thing that I do, I'll put on the neck position pickup and just, if I can get it to sing like this, then I know I like the amp. If I can't, if it sounds real thin or it sounds MIDI, somebody wrote the 150 Mesa Boogie. I'm not that familiar with that. I know the PV one, but if I, you know, when I get these sounds that are just screaming, that's when I know I've got my sound. And one thing I've learned, you know, I know who I am. I know my sound. I know what I like to hear. And that's something that I recommend to all of you, that get an idea of in your head what you like and then search for it. Hopefully you find it. It took me years to find it. When I was a kid, I didn't really understand why some tones were good, why some tones weren't, and there was nobody to teach me, you know, because we didn't have the internet. And you know, I was at a place in my own head and my own music where, you know, I was a lot better technically than a lot of other guitarists and even teachers. So and I don't mean that to be arrogant, I practiced so hard, you know, to work on my technique. And I had questions that it was just out of their wheelhouse to ask, because they didn't know the answers and I didn't know the answer. So I had to find out. Well, now you have me, you have the internet, you have anybody that you want that can answer a lot of your questions. But even with clean sounds, I've got my string dampener on, but so even clean, I grew up playing clean sounds. So I grew up like, so a clean guitar playing is like nothing new for me. Why? Because they didn't have overdrive unless you bought a fuzz box. Just the very name. I'm gonna play a fuzz box. I want fuzz. Really? What kind of fuzz? Peach fuzz? You know, I was thinking like, oh, fuzz, oh yes, of course, I want fuzz on my guitar. Why don't I put hair on the strings? I mean, I was thinking, fuzz? You know, they used to call them fuzz boxes, and I'm a kid, I'm going, there's a lot of things I want in life, being a little kid, but fuzz isn't one of them. And so I grew up just having a really clean sound, and then big muffs. Overdrive. Overdrive sounded a lot better than fuzz. And then they changed the word fuzz to distortion. I'm like, well, that's just fuzz. So it's a different name for fuzz, dude. I've never really liked distortion pedals. I liked overdrive pedals, but I used to do, you know, used to do like Light My Fire the way Jose Feliciano did it. I just love that stuff. Somebody asked about flamenco. Flamenco. I play with a pick. Like Demiola McLaughlin. Let Paco de Lucia. Use his fingers. I love playing with my fingers. I do. But I'm more of the guy that goes like... I seem to get what I want out of the pick. Ooh, we have a... So anyway, this is the idea. I love playing clean. Oh, to the guy who said, hey, it sounds too compressed. That's because I have a compressor. And so, I like that song. There's just so many things that you can do on guitar. But you take a guitar like this, that is very, very reasonably priced, and you can do the things that I'm playing on a guitar like this. And, so, you can get people that are pundits that say, well, I think this, I think that. You do it. And I'm not trying to be arrogant when I say that, but the one thing, if I've learned anything in life, everybody's different. And I found that when I'm listening to other guitar players, which I listen to a lot of them, I don't comment, I just listen. And I take what I like, and now not everybody likes everything, but everybody has a different idea of tone and a different idea of playing. And so I might not like everybody's vibrato. Some people to me have a very fast vibrato. Some people have a really hard time getting their tone. They don't have a tone. But I found that it's not my job to criticize that. I listen to them on the merits of what are they saying to me as a musician, and I found that the people that are more critical are the ones who do less. Because all my friends, all my rock star buddies, none of us pose. We talk about what we like about each other, and we're not sit there and criticizing. It's easy to criticize anybody, and I'm not saying that people are writing this here. They're not. It's just what I found my own attitude towards it. Because if I start writing negative things, I'm thinking negative thoughts. If I'm thinking negative thoughts, I'm not thinking positive thoughts. Joey thinks positively. I'm only positive. Why? Because that's the way I am. PMA, positive mental attitude. But it's JPMA, Joey's positive mental attitude. That's the way I think of things. I've said this before. I think of my life like a coin sometimes, my attitude. Positive you flip it over negative. Very rarely does a coin straddle just straight up. Now it happens. That's a gray area to me. I don't think gray. I think black and white. And so I think you're either positive or negative. If you're negative or even think negative thoughts, well, that doesn't do you any good. And so, I'd like to switch it to positive and hopefully that you get something out of this. I mean, I'm playing a lot today. And I mean, this guitar, like, see, I beat the heck out of it. I've tuned it to A440, so it's in concert pitch. I'm looking at it right now. I'm not actually touching anything. And one of the things that I do a lot too, people try to pigeonhole somebody, say, oh, they use 3 notes per string or they do this. I've never just used 3 notes per string. I use a lot of 4 notes per string. I love chromatics. I mean, look at my exercises. Now that's simple except for one thing. You're developing your hands to meet your mind. You're developing that triangle, the pyramid of death. The pyramid of metal, dude. And so you want to have your brain locked with both hands. And so I'll be playing like something like this. I just did 3 things there. I was alternate picking, 3 notes per string, then I switched to 4 notes per string, then I switched to legato. All on this one, I'm just riffing away here. Now that was economy picking with alternate picking. And then I was doing string skipping, alternate picking with legato. See, I always mix it up. And so it's not really up to me to tell you and analyze everything I do unless I'm trying to teach you something. But I am trying to teach you something here, and that's to keep this positive attitude when you're playing. I mean, I got to deal with Joey all the time. I'm the star! It's me! It's me! See, I can't even stop it. It's me! I am Joey. Me. Who do you want to see? I'm the star of this show. And then Robert going, ah! So I have 2 hands going 24 hours a day. Ah! And then in my head, I'm like, and so people wondered why I was faster when I was a kid. Ah! What would you do if you had 2 hands that were like, nah, like this? And so now I'm goofing around, but I enjoy playing. I enjoy practicing, but I make it fun and I keep it positive. I wake up every morning going, this is going to be a great day. This is going to be an awesome day, positive mental attitude. I say this over in my head a lot, just PMA. PMA, positive mental attitude, because look, I'm older. It's really weird sometimes to look in the mirror and seeing the older Michael knowing what I looked like as the younger Michael. I see Speed Kills and I see thousands of photos of me online, and yet I was that person, but I'm not that person now. But my hands and my head are locked playing guitar. I'm equally as fast as I've ever been, and in some ways faster and better because my vibrato has matured over the years. My timing is dead on, but it's always been like that because I practice with the metronome. But these things are not things you're born with. These are skills you can acquire. You can acquire speed by just getting speed kills. I haven't talked much about Metal Method, but I have my own URL to go to Metal Method, learn-to-shred.com. And my programs are what I really use. I think if people know me now, I've been doing this live stream for years, I practice what I preach. And there's a funny thing to say, when people say, well, you don't have to remember the truth. The truth is the truth. If I was giving you guys a bunch of lies or a bunch of BS, I would not be sitting here today with Joey and Robert shredding my face off, because I use these exercises. I use what I tell you, and my mentality and my mindset is exactly what I tell you. And so, because there's no reason to lie about it. What does it gain? Does it help you? No. Does it help me? No. So I'm a win-win person. The things that I do that work for me, and I mean, I've had a long career. We just filmed in Los Angeles at Sawtooth headquarters, the MAB band. It's just called MAB. We just filmed a new double guitar solo. I've been wanting to debut this guitar solo forever, and the tours kept getting canceled because of COVID. But here's where my head is at right now. You have seen me many times over the years doing solo concerts with really cool tracks, but I never cheated. I've never put one really fast riff on a backing track. That's why I've never been accused of cheating, because I never have. And you're not stupid. You would know if you heard this in the background. You would know it. Anybody would know it. Because sooner or later you're going to screw up, or something's not going to work right, and you're going to hear, but I'm going to be like, what? And so it's never happened because it's not there. But now I'm in a whole different place. It's kind of like circling back. We are a 3-piece band. We're going to be playing around Southern California and hopefully more places. Great drummer, Joe Fuco. He's the main owner with Kevin Osborne, who works on the live streams. They have 2 main owners, and they're both amazing. Kevin's a great singer. He was an actor. He's got this great announcer's voice, and so he's super talented. And Joe is the same way, and he's a great drummer. And so he's on drums. We have a guy named Nils Lawrence who's got hair down to here, like deadly cool hair, but he sings great and he plays great. And me on guitar, no backing tracks, not even a click track to keep time. There's nothing. It's 3-piece raw in your face, just like I did when I was a kid. There's no anything else, nothing. And so when I play my new double guitar solo and you hear it, we already filmed it. It's gonna, we have a whole list of videos that we have filmed, a whole, it's in the queue right now. You're gonna see it. You're gonna hear just guitar, bass, and drums. And I love that because what can you say? It's just real. It's in your face. And I love it because, all my double guitar track before, was very dense and keyboards and multiple rhythm guitars. But again, I never cheated. You can, but sooner or later, somebody's going to figure it out. If you're doing this, like when I did Pipeline. Well, if I screwed up and I was going, but you're hearing. But now I have a new, I wrote a piece, it sounds like Mozart. So the new section goes, and I go. And I have like, so I made it very Mozart-like, but I wanted to create my own music rather than doing Pipeline. But the moral of this story is, like Sawtooth guitars, like what I'm doing now, it's a whole different way of doing things than I've done in the past. They can't make a better guitar for the money than this M24. It just sounds great. It's manufactured great. If there's anything that you see like a small price increase or something, it's how can I say it? It's the delivery system from it. It's just shipping. I mean, shipping has gone up literally 1,000%. I mean, it's gone up astronomically. Like, look at how much petroleum is right now in gas. But Sawtooth has been able to keep the prices low, a lot lower than other companies, and we have every single guitar in stock. And so, I'm going to talk about a quick few other things, and then we're done for the evening. But one, you can't get a better guitar for the money than this. I'm just telling you guys, this is my go-to guitar. It feels great. It's super light. It sings like a bird. And I keep it down My house has a basement, but it's finished and it's really nice and beautiful. But it's colder down here, so guitars have a tendency to get weird. The wood reacts to more damp and cold because it's below ground. Not this guitar. This guitar rocks. This is like a Navy SEAL. This guitar is the Special Forces. It's just bad. And I keep it here, I tune it, and like it doesn't matter. I have 3 different tunings that I do for clients, and I say clients because I work with some really big artists and big companies, and some want concert pitch, some want a half step down, some want a full step down. And so when I'm learning the songs and warming up, and I use this guitar. The other thing is Metal Method, learn.to.shred.com. I'm going to say something about Doug Marks. He's like a family member to me, like all the people I work with. My goal in life is to work with people I like that are really great at what they do. That's where I live. That's my world. I'm at the point now, if I don't really care for somebody, you can't like everybody, I don't want to work with them. And so everybody around me, we're friends, we're family, and they're all great and better at what they do than what I do. It's like Adam sitting here, he was my student. He's way better at video stuff than me. So why do I need to learn all this stuff? I have someone like Adam. We're really good friends, and he's awesome at what he does. Plus, he's a great guitarist, and he'll be back on the show. Same with Sawtooth. They're just great people. The band that I'm working with, the engineer Andy Zuckerman, we're all buddies, and we all have a track record of doing things that they have areas of expertise that are not mine, and that's who I like to work with. With Metal Method and Doug Marks has sold more lessons than almost anybody ever on the planet. He's the guy who started the video lesson business. I just talked to him this morning. We try to have meetings every week just to talk about things. So I'll be doing a new instructional program with Metal Method, but it's going to be different. It's tailored to today. Speed kills. And all my other programs are all available through Metal Method, but they're awesome. They've stood the test of time because I took the time. I took the time to do it right the first time, so we don't have to redo it and say, well, I would have done it this way. There's not a lot of that. The only thing I messed up with was I called economy picking alternative, because the time that I did Speed Kills, economy wasn't the standard word for it. So it was a different technique. There was no really established word like alternate picking or legato. So I came up with alternative. It was an alternative to alternate, but that word didn't stick. Economy did. So that's about the only thing, but I wouldn't redo one note that I did back then because it all makes sense. One other thing too, we have a new video that just came out on my my YouTube channel. It's called Badge. It's from my buddies, Rob Ross, my best friend, great drummer on No Boundaries, Rainforest, Full Force, Science Fiction, all these killer 2X again. He's the guy that played drums on all this stuff. And it's lifelong friends that have done this. I love working with everybody. They're all successful in life, and success doesn't mean just money. It means in life. And I work with people that are successful in life, and that's really important to me. Because money isn't really the goal. You do great work and the money comes in, but you work hard. So check out the video. It's Badge by the band Cream. Also, the Go DPS Music Live app. I cannot stress this enough. We were one of the first companies, guitar companies, to go online with an app. We have a ton of content there. You can get discounts on instruments. It's free, and when I mean free, it's free! How much does it cost? Nothing! How much does free cost with Sawtooth guitars? Nothing! It's free! So go download the app. And then if you buy something there, you get 20% off. How hard is that? And then we have a lot of new videos coming. And the MAB band, which is just called MAB, we have recorded a lot of stuff. We recorded No Boundaries with just 3-piece. My new double guitar solo, 3-piece. And we recorded other songs too. We have songs with acoustic guitar and cajon. I mean, there's just so much content that's going to be released because we've already filmed it. So, Sawtooth is really proactive on all this stuff. But anyway, I want to thank each and every one of you. I've been here every week, and I'm trying to give you the best knowledge that I can, and the most sincere and honest. I'm as sincere and as honest as I can possibly be with my guitar playing to you, because there's no benefit for me to cheat. There's no benefit at all for me, because you're going to find out. It's like if Paul McCartney never wrote those great songs, we would know by now. And so that's why Speed Kills works so well. It was great then. It's great now. It's going to be great 30 years from now. Get the Speed Kills programs. Get Sawtooth guitars. They rule. Anyway, I'm Michelangelo Badio. Check out the YouTube channel. Check it all out. From Joey, hey, I'm still the star of the show. From Robert, he's angry.